How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the Discovering Bigfoot podcast. Today we have Mr. Todd Standing coming back to talk about some more of his footage and some of the background and stuff that we don't really hear about or know about. So thanks again for coming on, Todd. I know you're busy and you got life going on, so thanks for taking the time out of your day to come on and talk to us.
So this is our podcast. This is the
Yeah,
Discovering Bigfoot podcast.
I know, but you're still
I
busy.
always
So.
make time. Always make time. Always happy to do it.
Well, yeah, so let's I want to talk about video 4, which is Jane. A lot of people have their opinions about that footage. So I want to kind of bring to light, like, if you remember what year it was, what kind of the plan was, maybe what happened that year leading up to this expedition to go and get this footage.
Yeah, it was 2009, and boy, those were hard years. What was happening? So I'd lost my research area in Montana, which is the Sylvanic region. There were actual deaths. Like, in fact, I believe Sasquatch killed people in the Montana area. I was doing research, so there were rumors around that since I was involved, and I had nothing to do with any of that stuff, nothing whatsoever. I didn't know the people that got involved. I didn't know any of the people that were killed. I just knew nothing about it. And the Indians, the native people that live there, were pointing the finger at me. So they didn't invite me back. I didn't go. I just gave up on that stuff. So I needed a new spot. So we picked this radium spot, and my colleague who was also working with me, who is from Great Falls, Montana, he's a biologist there, Michael. He helped me pick this spot that we were at, and we started to get really good success in 2008. And there were clearly Sasquatch there. There were an amazing group of Sasquatch, and no one was ever going to mess with us. We also wanted a research area that was ours, that I didn't have to answer to anybody for, that nobody else was doing the work. And there was not. This was the ultimate, amazing, A+ spectacular spot. Nobody was going in these regions. In fact, quite the opposite. This area is famous for where wildlife officers relocate bad animals. So bears and mountain lions that become dangerous for people, they go throw them in this corridor where I was doing my research. So I ended up having
Sounds like
some
a
trouble
great
with
idea.
that. Yeah, because bears that see humans as a source of food would be dropped in that area because there's nobody around except me. And then I'd have to deal with that, which was problematic often.
I can imagine.
When I went missing, that's what the RCMP told me. The reason you're having so much trouble with bears and mountain lions is because we put bad animals in that area because nobody goes there. You crazy maniac. What are you doing back in that corridor? But anyways, and there was things that were different about this troop of Sasquatch that were very exciting because they weren't really backing away. They wouldn't move off. They would just kind of stand their ground. So I was really, really excited to do this work. And what happened, what I since I didn't have much technology, gosh, I didn't even carry a gun at the time. I had like bear spray and a bear banger and a knife. It was pathetic how poorly equipped I was. And what I actually wanted, so we had it broken down to where their home area was, and I needed some bad weather to come in, the worst horrible storm you ever saw in your whole life, where you can't see your hand in front of your face, because that's cover. And because I knew I could follow a creek in, and then I could follow a special tree line and a cave. Like I could literally find my way around blind with a blindfold on, with no ability to see, which is what I did. And so it was around, and the best time to get a storm too that's going to melt off and dissipate is in the fall, because in Canada we get these snowstorms that come in early, and the snow hits and doesn't really accumulate, or if it does accumulate, it melts. And if you notice in the Jane footage, there's snow everywhere. It's melting, literally melting. So I went into that snowstorm for cover. The next day it was beautiful, and well, after the storm was over, it wasn't the next day. It was like 3 days after a snowstorm, or 3 days of a snowstorm. That was horrible. I got into my position, and then my plan after that just fell into place. Where the what's happening is the cave I was talking about, I actually had an audio recorder of me talking. So I left a trackway of me walking into this cave, and then I used a line to sneak my way out where you couldn't see my tracks. And so when the Sasquatch came down the mountain, they could hear me talking in the cave. I wasn't there, and they saw my tracks go in and not come out. So I believe the males went down the hill waiting for me or messing with me in that cave while I was trying to approach the rest of the troop, the females and the young. What I didn't realize is the females create another upper perimeter, and that's what I believe Jane was. She was the upper perimeter I was trying to break past to get back into where the main home is. Like I'm talking where they sleep, like the spot where there's bones and their stuff is there, whatever that might be. So the main sleeping holy grail area is what I was trying to get to. Of course, and I didn't get there because Jane stopped me. I was using what I called a ghillie cloak. It was basically a lead-lined ghillie kind of, not a suit, but like a ghillie. It's like a big piece of earth is what it looked like, and I would drag that up the hill and stay under it, completely lead-lined, so you couldn't feel my signature, no heat signature, no telepathic signature. It's all blocked off. So I got to the point where I was at, got my footage of Jane, which is multiple shots. And now this is something that's really important too, though, is I had two cameras with me. The reason I had two cameras is at the time, the digital camera that shot in DV tape was horrible at night. I had so much night stuff coming around me. So a friend of mine lent me his camera, said this is one of the best night vision cameras around. And I can't remember, it was like a Samsung or something. But anyways, its low light capabilities were really crappy. But I still had it, and I was going to test it just in case something happened. So what happened is when I'm filming Jane in video, and the video is where I'm an expert. I was using my neutral density filters. The footage is amazing. It looks proper and clear. It was awesome. The trees had the snow melting, and it was splattering, would splatter on my camera. As soon as my camera stopped working, I would switch over to the other camera. And it was actually, I think it was just a photographic camera. I didn't shoot any video with it. So I just pointed at her and took pictures until, until it got splattered on. Then I would clean both lenses and put them both back up, try to refine Jane again and get more footage. The problem is that the photographs that I have that I took with that camera is set for low light, right? I didn't change the settings. You don't sit there and go, oh, there's a Sasquatch there. I better check the settings on my phone. You pull the goddamn camera out and you go snap, 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 snap. You take everything you can get, right? So those photographs look really bad. Like she looks orangey. The color and the green in the trees looks bad because it's literally set for low light and it's shooting in not only in direct sunlight, but there's snow on the ground. So the sun is bleaching off the snow, create like it's burning your eyes. It's so bright. So the photographs are poor, but at the time, I didn't really give a shit, and I made those public. I didn't care because I know that's Sasquatch, and I knew this at the time too. I also believed the discovery was only years away. I knew I was going to make this discovery happen right away because I was having so much incredible success. Of course, I was wrong because that was literally filmed in 2009. Well over, almost 15 years ago now. That footage was filmed, and the discovery is not moving nearly as quickly as I had hoped, but that footage that I got that day was absolutely astonishing. I want to make a little. I keep saying I'm going to do this, and I haven't because I filmed it a couple times. Two of the most important things that happened. So, as I was filming Jane for the last time, I was trying to look for Jane. She was gone, so I'm looking around to film for her. What actually happened was a Sasquatch came up to me as I was in that ghillie cloak, and he reached under the cloak. I could feel his hand, and he grabbed my ankle. And he pulled me out. And what was so cool was a Sasquatch drags me along the ground for like 5 meters, and I'm freaking out, right? So as he lets me go, and I spin around as fast as I can. I look, and all I saw was like a tree shaking for this where the Sasquatch had walked off. And I thought, oh my God, he must have just ran out of there just before he got a hold of me and blah, blah, blah. But then a few years later, I saw a gorilla do that to a guy on a gorilla watching expedition. A gorilla literally grabbed the guy by his ankle, and this is exactly what happened to me, because the Sasquatch didn't run with me. The gorilla just grabbed the guy by his ankle and pulled him at the speed the gorilla was walking. And as soon as he let that guy go, the gorilla just kept walking. And as fast as the guy could turn around, all he saw was a shaking tree. And all the gorilla had to do was just maintain that walking speed. So in my head, it was, man, he just bolted out of there. It's not true. He just simply just maintained his speed, because also the tree that was shaking, it wasn't going, bah, 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 bah. It was just shaking like somebody walked past it. So you're just in such a panic and everything's happening so fast that you whip around and you perceive things differently. But it was a really good lesson for me. So I've been pulled out of my ghillie suit. I've got my footage. I'm stoked through the roof, but I'm not done. I'd like to go up there, and first thing I needed to get was, I want to see how big Jane is. So I wanted to climb up there to go and just measure where her head was and how big it is, and then just do some more Sasquatch research. I wasn't done by a long shot. Oh, I was done. And I'll tell you what happened. So I get all my stuff together. I get all set up, and remember this, Kyle, because you and I have learned so much this year. So as I'm organizing my stuff, they leave me alone, because what's in my mind? Organize my stuff, get organized, get all my things together so I can move, right? That's what I'm thinking. Once everything was organized and together so I could move, then I went, I want to move up over there. So I'm going to go that way. Now, what am I projecting to these empathic beings, Kyle? To these
You're going that way.
beings? I'm going that way. So now I walk to go over that way, and a rock was thrown at me. I remember it to this day because, man, I still have a sore spot on my glute. He literally threw a rock. It felt like a 22 bullet hit me in the ass. And I fell down, and I was like, yeah, like it was pain. Like I must have been there for 10 minutes just going, what the goddamn hell, son of a bitch. Like I was in brutal pain, lying there, just suffering. So, but I'm an idiot human being, moron, stupid. Like that. So what do? I'm going to go up there anyways. So the next rock that goes past me misses my head by about 6 inches, except it was the size of a softball. When it missed my head, it actually hit the mountain and exploded. If that would have hit me in the head, I'd be dead. Being the very intelligent human being that I am, I go, first rock nailed me, hurt me really bad. Second rock just missed me by inches and would have taken my head off. I think they're trying to tell me something.
I wonder what
Don't
it is.
go up there. And believe me, you know what? I took a second to think about it. And you know what I did? Got my ass out of there. And they started throwing boulders down the hill at me. They started doing all these different kinds of things to manipulate me. And it just being half-witted as I can be sometimes, I got my ass out of there.
Did you go back and get your recorder?
Yeah, I had both my cameras packed up.
Oh, okay.
So, and you know, I was really, and I did record. I recorded one of the rocks being thrown down a hill at me. Holy shit, that was terrifying.
Is that in your cutaway shot in the documentary where it's rolling down past you?
Yeah, it smashes a tree. It just misses me.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit, man, that was so fucking. Sorry, I'm not gonna swear. That was so bloody scary. Like it was just so terrifying because I could actually hear that thing coming through the air, and then it hit the ground, and it was moving like a football, like randomly. Could have went any direction like that. My God.
How heavy do you think that rock was? Probably like 110, 120 pounds?
Yeah. No, more about 200 pounds. It was big. Oh, yeah, it was so big. So, and yeah, the velocity that was moving down that hill, I mean, that scared the hell out of me. And then a log got tossed at me, and just lots of others. They're making calls, and they're growling, they're busting trees, and it was a lot of intimidation. And I was pretty, back in those days too, I was really brave. Like I'd skydive, I'd rock climb. I was kind of fearless to the point of being kind of stupid. I wasn't being respectful of my life back in those days,
right?
Like I am now. So it was really a lot in their face, but I give them credit because they put up with my BS, with my arrogance, with my omnipotence, and let me out. So, and then what is significant too is so now what happened too is they were continuously following me out of this, and there was some weird stuff going on. I was very unaware of the empathic messages they're sending me. And I block those things out of my head. If I would see an image, or if they would try to communicate with me telepathically, I would block it out, or I would disregard it, or I would try to get it to stop, or I'd close my mind off to it, which was just horrible. But that is where the flare happened. Is when I got back to my base camp area, the buggers were trying to push me back into the wilderness, and they never did that before. They were trying to push me out. So they tried to push me in, and that didn't make any sense. That's why I stood my ground and had the flare thing. So that was on the video 4 expedition, was
Okay.
that flare incident. It was when I got to the end and I came right out. Yeah, it was a horrifying experience, and they were tormenting me. They wouldn't even let me sleep. Like, I'd sleep for like an hour. Man, there were times where I just got up and I was really cranky and pissed off. I would literally swear at them, like, leave me the F alone. I'm trying to goddamn sleep, because I was like so exhausted, so burnt out. Like, there's a point where you just kind of break mentally. You've had enough. And I think you could probably hear that in my voice too. Les talked about, it sounded like I was panicky a little bit. Like, get out of here, yeah. Like, I don't feel like I was panicking. I was just like so done. Like, I was so fed up. Just leave me, like, just kill me or let me be. Because there's the tormenting. It's a good 3 days out of there. They were just constantly tormenting me, and yeah, it was. I felt halfway tortured, and but it's because I wasn't listening, you know, and they were they needed me to communicate. They needed me to listen to what they were trying to say, the images they were putting in my mind. But I just wasn't. I was so ignorant, and my understanding was so poor at the time, uh, about the reality of this amazing species. Because telepathy is it's how they communicate, and it's this awakening that we're all working on now. That's literally over a decade later that I'm starting now to understand, what this discovery takes, and what's necessary to take it to the next level. But and then when I came back, I put together uh, a little video on my YouTube channel about the Jane footage, and I did nothing to augment it. I just put the raw footage out there, and I, I must have gotten some. I don't know. I must have had some. Oh yeah, I did in 2000. I think it was 2007. That's when I did the Bigfoot petition for species recognition and protection. So this is 2009. So this is a couple years later. So, and people were weird about video 2, video 3. They're like, kind of on the fence about it. Video 4 at the time was very rejected. Sorry, just getting over my illness here. I found it to be, it really took me back 2 steps more than anything. People were very disagreeable to it. They called Jane an Ewok.
I've seen a
And
lot of puppet.
yeah, just silly things like that. So actually, I just had a longtime colleague of mine send me a picture of a grizzly bear in the in the exact same position behind a tree that Jane was. And man, he looks terrible. He looks totally fake. His nose looks all weird because it's winter out, right? And his face has little bits of winter on him, and he looks totally fake. So and I've learned so much. Actually, National Geographic photographers telling me about all the mistakes that they're actually not allowed to, like, in National Geographic photography. No gorillas, orangutans, chimpanzees are ever filmed in the rain because they look fake. Their skin looks plastic and fake. So when people see pictures of it, people don't think they look like real animals. So, but there were so many rules way beyond that I'd broken, that National Geographic photographers aren't allowed to publish with gorillas and orangutans and chimpanzees. But I didn't have a choice. It's either publish those or throw it all away. So you're not supposed to film in direct sunlight like that with those backlit conditions. You never ever they film gorillas on cloudy days or not at all. So they don't get them in direct sunlight. And if you look at the photography out there, you'll start to see it, because That's just the way it is. But when you have the opportunities to film gorillas day and night, and you follow them around, you can get literally thousands of photographs. You can make those. You can be, I'm not going to use that footage. I'm going to use this footage. I'm not going to use. I have no choice. I literally had about, I'd say I had a good 10 minutes with Jane, where I was getting footage of her, finding where she was, cleaning my camera, get more footage, find where she was, and that's it. Once that's over, it's over. So, um, and yeah, the way she was moving, and I literally think she didn't know I was there. So,
Now,
um, she,
did you manage to get any footage of her actually like moving out of frame?
always into frame, I think, is
Okay.
what I got. So,
Because
well, I wouldn't allow her.
I think the problem with that footage that everybody has a problem with that footage because there is a lack of motion. Like at least with video 5 with Jake,
Mm,
you can see the eye blink, you can see a little bit of
right.
movement. With Jane, it seems like it's just, there's nothing going on,
Mm,
you know.
What the difference between that is Jake was not in high alert, and Jake wasn't alerted to anybody being there. So everything's cool. With Jane, they damn well knew I was down there somewhere. So Jake is just regular, normal day, looking out for something. There's nothing around 99.99999% of the time. Jane's looking down that hill going, where are you, son of a bitch? Oh, he's down there. Where is he? So so with Jake, he's just chilling, he looks around, he blinks, he's just in normal mode, right? With Jane, she's like this. Is that what's that? What's this? Right? She look at a deer when it sees a wolf. They don't blink. They'll go 4 minutes without blinking when there's possibly a wolf over there or a bear or something. They don't goddamn blink. They'll stand at attention. That's what you get with Jane is a Sasquatch absolutely on 100% alert mode, standing at 100% attention. So I never got her for more than 20 seconds at a time because it was so like I was under a huge tree and all this snow was melting like crazy, dripping off of me. Even in the footage, you could see snow dripping all off the trees all around Jane too, right?
Mhm.
So there was literally the snow accumulated a good 6 inches, and it was literally like in Fahrenheit, it was 70 degrees Fahrenheit. The the 3 days before it was like what's zero for you guys? Like 32.
Yeah.
So it was probably 20 degrees Fahrenheit for 3 days. And then it went to 70 degrees Fahrenheit that day in direct sunlight. And the trees are dark, so they're absorbing the heat. That snow was melting like bat crap crazy. So snow is melting like crazy. Jane is looking for me. Like, you are down there, you back. So it's the circumstances that people don't get, right? So I love you ask me those questions, and I'm able to help you understand the circumstances based on the reality of what's transpiring. What did I say? I left a damn tape recorder and I left a trackway to let the Sasquatch know I'm down at the bottom of the hill. The males went down there looking for me. And probably it didn't take them too long to figure out I wasn't there, but then they knew I was around. So, and Jane knew I was around. She was told I was around. These are empathic or telepathic beings that are communicating. He's around here somewhere, Jane. Keep an eye out. They knew that. So it's a totally different set of circumstances and not even comparable.
I also want to talk about, we'll step back a little bit and in the hike coming into that spot, you waited for that snowstorm. You said it was, 20 degrees. So you must have
Mm,
been, and you were going up the stream. So you were wet for 3 days climbing up a
yeah,
stream and you couldn't see.
yeah.
That almost seems impossible.
No, no. What? First of all, I had those really cool fishing things that are made out of
Waiters.
neoprene. Yeah, those neoprene fishing waders. The water, it can be -20 in the water. You don't even. I never got cold. I would literally sleep with my lower body in the water. Just let it roll, man. Like that. The temperature never got through there. I also had. It wasn't just the neoprene. Obviously, I had like those incredible thermals that are foil thermals,
Mm.
and plus I was trained for that. So I could handle cold like crazy. So I just I had a strategy. I had a plan of attack. And the other thing too is waiting for a snowstorm to happen like that. I mean, I that could have taken years before that ever precipitated. And it was just the perfect storm that came in the perfect time. The weather forecast called it. It was one of those storms that just blanketed the whole region brilliantly. And you gotta, like, when the pressure is on, pressure makes diamonds. And I was literally ready to kill myself to make that happen. Either I was gonna die or I was gonna make that happen. There was no two ways about it. And when you have that kind of mindset, I never worried about coming back. I just knew I had to do this, and I was just a maniac. I was an irresponsible maniac of a human being who absolutely risked his life way beyond any responsible human being should ever do. Don't ever do stuff like that. Kyle, I will never, I'm mentoring Kyle, I mentor Craig, I mentor James, all these people I work with. You guys will never do stupid, dumb stuff like that. It's just dumb. Because there were times where I was like, I'm probably not going to make it back. This happened. Oh, now this is happening. Oh, I can't do that. Oh, I'm probably not going to make it back, but I'm going to keep going forward anyways. And just had no quit. And maybe that worked back in those days, but that kind of attitude and mentality doesn't work at all anymore. It's inappropriate. It's irresponsible, and it's just stupid. So I won't live life like that. And I won't teach people to live life like that anymore. It's just it's not reasonable.
Yeah, I understand your point, and you're right. It is a stupid idea, but the problem with that is, look what you got your best footage out of acting and being like that.
Is it though? I don't know. Um, those were I'll tell you after video 5 specifically, like video 4, I pissed them off. Video 5, I pissed them off again. But you know what? They didn't interact with me for years after that. They basically fired me. So I went years without even, like, I'm not even talking forget footage. I'm talking I went 3 years at least. They didn't make a whoop. They didn't make a tree break for me. They didn't make a rock knock sound for 3 freaking years, Kyle. They kiboshed me in the hottest spot I'd ever been to. I bet that's one of the reasons I kind of went to Nordegg too, was these guys just hated on me. They wanted nothing to do with me anymore. It's amazing they ever started to interact with me again. They would actually, in places where they would take apples from me, I would go there and the apples would be on the ground and they'd be crushed. Well, what did that tell you? It's like, screw you,
No, thank you.
asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, kiss my ass. And that's all I got from them, was just absolute. And if you make the Sasquatch distrust you or dislike you or maybe even hate you, your research is over. You're
Right.
not going to verse these guys and win. And after I had video 4 and 5, I really started to rethink a lot of things, a lot of choices I was making, and I had to kind of, like, after video 5, multiple expeditions. I come back, I'll sleep for 3 or 4 days, like I'm physically exhausted. There was a exposure, is what they call it, when you're basically in a place of shock. You haven't been eating properly, you haven't slept properly. You pass out from exposure. So I'd literally wake up, my wife would feed me and take me to the bathroom, and I'd go sleep for 12 hours. She'd feed me, take me to the bathroom, and I'd sleep for 12 hours. That's how brutally punished I would put my body through. And most of the time I wouldn't have a video to show for it. Did you know that?
Hmm.
Did you know, Kyle, that I would say back in those days when I was having good success, 1 in 20 7-day expeditions precipitated footage. 1 in 20. So people that think I just go out there and it just all works out, like, I can think of an expedition where I'd been out there for 5 days and I'm right in the perfect spot. Everything seems amazing. And then a wolverine comes up a tree to attack me and I got to shoot a bear banger at him. Well, you shoot that bear banger at the wolverine and the expedition's over. All the time, all the effort, all the money, time you've taken off work, all that you've put into that expedition is gone because a goddamn wolverine comes up the tree that you're hiding in and is going to kill you. He's going to attack you. He wants blood. And you don't defend yourself. You don't shoot that bear banger in his goddamn little punk ass face. He might kill you, right?
Which is
And
surprising. Those little fuckers are
you're
they're
the one that's swung.
ruthless.
Yeah, they're little monsters, So it's that's something I don't talk about. Even expeditions, I just went out there and not a damn thing happened ever. Like didn't find a tree break, didn't hear a wood knock, nothing. And that's what happened most of the time. I even remember having a conversation when Survivor Man finally, after years of work, Survivor Man literally had to cheat to get me an episode of Survivor Man Bigfoot. I remember like the week before he was coming, laying in bed with my wife at the time, and she goes, most of the time you go out there, nothing ever happens. You only have 3 days with him. He's not even spending a week with you. What are the odds of something happening? And I just knew in my heart. I was mind speaking with the Sasquatch and I didn't even know it.
Mhm.
I was telling them everything I've ever done comes down to this time. This amazing man is coming out. I need you to come and interact with us. I need the success. Otherwise, you're going to lose me. Is really what my thoughts were. If I come out there and nothing happens with Survivor Man, then you're going to lose me. I'm going to have to go, find another job and just quit this discovery process. And did that happen? No. They showed up like holy shit. On the expeditions with Survivor Man, John Bernardego, and Dr. Jeff Meldrum, the Sasquatch showed up like a I can't even I can't even believe how successful it was. I literally left those expeditions driving home teary-eyed, thinking I'm so grateful that you guys came out and you guys did this and you guys showed yourself to them. I I just have no words for gratitude, because they chose to show themselves. They chose to show the whole world, whether they're listening or not, because most of them aren't listening, other Kyle. Like, we really are making this damn discovery. You've been out there, all these people, all these dozens and dozens of people that we take out, all these men and women that you're meeting and knowing, we we don't believe Sasquatch is real. We know it. And with all this goddamn evidence, even somebody was just telling me last week about how Jeff and John have both said this. If indeed this is real footage, which it all is real footage, but John or Jeff will start that out with, if it is actually indeed real, this is the most compelling body of evidence substantiating the existence of Bigfoot in the history of humankind. And I'm telling you, people, here it is. I'm not saying take my word for it. I take people out and show them Sasquatch. Now I take people out and train them to go find Sasquatch on their own. Kyle and Craig and Ashley all did that this year. Under my training, under my guidance, they've gone out and had their own experiences. You have no idea what that means to me. Now, all this knowledge and all this understanding that I've gathered over these decades of experience, it's been passed on to people to the point where they can go out and get their own success. I'm speechless as to how that just, the scariest thing to me is for me to do all this and it gets lost. I don't want any of it to be lost. I don't want the spot in radium to be hidden. There's now like 7 people that know the way up to radium, that really, really know the way. And if I'm gone tomorrow, that won't be lost. It can't be lost. It took me thousands of days of bleeding in the backcountry to find that one spot. I don't want it to be lost, please. You know, Kyle, you could find it. You know enough of where to go is you would find it. But now you have other people that can actually take you there and guide you. Logan's been there. Keaton's been there. Jason has been there. Man, that dude is amazing. I'm so happy to be working with that guy. And he's going to spend a lot of time with us next year. But it's putting all this out there and making sure this discovery process is moving forward. And I don't know what it's gonna like, because Bigfoot is huge. Bigfoot is an enormous topic, and we literally have the most incredible body of evidence of Sasquatch in existence. Like, we're on video like 9, 10 now. That's coming out in the next documentaries, and we're not going anywhere. It's going to get better. It's never going to stop. We get more information, more technology. We grow every single year. Maybe not as fast as I'd like to grow, but we're growing and we're expanding. And this body of evidence will never stop. But this is the discovery of Sasquatch. Welcome.
Speaking about the documentary, I gotta answer and I gotta ask. got to get an answer for everybody out there asking what's going on with it.
Oh, I'm devoted to working on it now. I should have it done in the next month. So by Christmas, I should have it done.
You should release it on Christmas Day as a gift to everybody.
Right. But I don't know when they'll decide when to release it. But I should have it finished for them uh, in December, and they could start releasing it maybe January, February. I'm not sure when they'll want to release it, but
can we discuss who is they?
oh yeah, it's and they used to be called Conscious Vitality. Now they're calling their network Infinite. Uh, so they're about expanding consciousness and opening up and awareness. So they really matched well with me. I wasn't just my past distribution deals were good people, and I appreciated working with them. But I just I am a full-time Sasquatch researcher, and I do need to generate revenue. And the more revenue I generate, the more tools I have for this discovery process. That's what really sickens me about even let's just call a spade, like the show Finding Bigfoot. That show generated, millions and millions of dollars in revenue. What did they ever do for the discovery of Bigfoot?
They made it a joke.
Like what did they really ever do? Did they accomplish anything? Was there any forward movement? Have we made any discoveries based on what they did? And the answer is no. If I wouldn't be part of a TV show like that, just because of the way they do things. They're so deceitful and dishonest. It's a road of integrity, or I'm not going to take it. Right. But and you'll see with me though, like expeditions cost money. I generate revenue through also through donations and through my YouTube viewership. I do good with that stuff. But if there ever came to be a deal where there was a big movie deal and millions of dollars were generated, I would put Kyle. What do you know I would do with that abundance? Even understand this, ladies and gentlemen. You want to hear my crazy man, crazy goal? There's literally, this is in my documentary. There are 200 million people in the world that speak English that think Bigfoot is real or very probably real. 200 million people that are knowers and believers. Absolutely. That's a truth. That's a scientific statistical fact. If I could get $10 a month from those 200 million people, you do the math, it's $2 billion a month, right? You know what I would do with that in a New York second minute?
My God, we'd have the newest, best technology in the air.
No, I would go buy land for the Sasquatch. I would go find where the Sasquatch live, and I would buy them that land permanently. That's something that I mind speak to Sasquatch. I say, look, this is how I can literally with one of you walk out and take an apple out of my hand right here on camera. Do it right now.
That's my goal. Apple.
And 200 million people will give me $10 a month. I will buy all the Sasquatch their land back. All this beautiful land that's so reverent to you that you don't want logged anymore will be yours forevermore. I will buy it all back. I will literally be the little conduit that gives Sasquatch their harmony, their land owned by them, for them, untouched. It goes back to them. And it's a big part of what I do, because really, what the hell am I going to do with $2 billion a month? I just go, I guess my name would have to be in ownership of the land, but it really wouldn't be. It would be for the Sasquatch. And yeah, I would just make sure they all have all their land. I mean, the amount of money it would cost to buy them their land would be, probably tens of billions of dollars, but I'd buy it all back. And you know what? When you have money like that, you can buy shit that normally people don't buy.
Right.
You know what I mean? You make purchases, like money talks. Let's be real. In the human world, money talks. Who owns that land? Yeah, he owns it, but he's not. Yeah, he will give it up. We'll find a way, because money talks, and I make him an offer he can't refuse. And then I'm reclaiming that area for Sasquatch. I'm literally going to put little boundaries up, and you don't come on that land. It's private property. It's we don't have to say it's Sasquatch habitat. It's just private land. Please stay off. Please be respectful of this land that's been reclamated for wildlife purposes only. There you go. Right? Leave it to the wildlife. Let the when you leave land alone and you let it flourish, everything will come back. Nature will take it back over. And that's what's so beautiful. If we just stop fishing the oceans, all the fish would come back, all the balance and equilibrium would be there. If we just stop raping the hell out of them, there'd be so much abundance in those beautiful oceans that we've destroyed, almost like halfway annihilated. If we just left it alone, nature knows, nature can take its course, and nature knows how to fix things. And that's what this discovery is also about, is not just awakening, but also reconnecting to what's natural and what nature has in design for us. You know, stop thinking you're not part of nature because we're so surrounded by technology, because we are part of nature. You are connected to nature, and that's where your real freedom exists. If you're not wild, if you're domesticated, you're not free. Ever heard of a wild thing that was caged and domesticated? You are literally like, and especially in America, where freedom is so important. Are you wild? You better ask yourself this question. You better listen to me, goddammit. Are you wild? Because if you're not free. You better get that in your head. If you're domesticated, if you're a sheep, if you're owned, if you are reliant, if you can't really survive without this little piece, right? If you can't survive without that, this is literally a control that removes you from your natural nature self and takes away your freedom. You're not wild. If you're not wild, you're not free. So I learned that just speaking in public to some people that are like rock star. I went to a big rock concert festival. All these people were all, you know, crazy, domesticated, thought they were tough and free. And I asked them, are you wild? Are you connected to your natural side? Then you're not free. And not one single person knew what to say. They just sat there. I'm from America. I'm free. Are you? And how wild are you? Ever heard of a cage thing that was free? Well, I'm not caged. Oh yeah? Are you wild? No. Then you're not free. You know, and there is no comeback from that. It's a shocking statement that throws people out of canter, and it should, though, because you're literally a frog in hot water and you're boiling. Like, I'm not gonna die. No, the water's already boiling temperature, dumbass. They just increased it so slowly. They took away your freedom so systematically and so intelligently that you happily gave it away. Like, ever heard of, listen to this, Kyle? I love this. Ever heard of a mortgage? Right?
It literally, the root word literally means more, like death. Like you're paying it till you're dead. Yeah, morgue.
Morgue is death, and age is grip. A mortgage is a death grip. So you literally have people pleading with banks, can I please have a death grip put on me? That people don't get their death grip put on them, and they're pissed. I want my death grip, god damn it. That's the world we live in. They're not even pissing on you and telling you it's raining. They're pissing on you and say, we're pissing on you. You know? We're not giving you a death grip, bitch. You're not domesticated enough. Go get more domesticated. You got some wildness still left in you, you punk. And that's the world we live in, and we all just kind of accept this. Be afraid, people, because it's a very, very scary place. We went out of the hunter-gathering phase into the Industrial Revolution, where we were workers, and now we're basically consumers.
Yeah.
We just consume. You're like, we're literally turning humanity into nothing more than a virus. Like, people make money just doing crap on this all day. This is the number one way to make money, is through this crap. That's not good. Like, you don't really, when you do stuff on this, you're not really producing anything. You're not harvesting anything. You're not growing anything. You're not really doing anything. You're just recycling horse crap in here. Like, if you're not, like, a carpenter goes and builds a home, man. A plumber, he puts in, water treatment, and he builds something. Like, if you're not doing something that's tangible like that and building, like, the people that do this crap, they just want to make money and not really do anything for it. It's like I tricked you to give me lots of money. Well, the trick's on you, asshole. You didn't do anything. You really didn't deserve it. You're like the worst kind of parasite that exists. And the Sasquatch still recognize and understand this, and we don't get it anymore. It's like it's beyond our understanding now, and I'm scared. And this awakening has to happen for so many reasons. Um, this world, this planet is getting so damaged and so deceitful and so dishonest. We're being so separated from justice and truth and integrity that it has to collapse. And I suggest you come learn about the Sasquatch, learn about this awakening, reconnect to nature, because the those of us who stay awake, who awaken, and who work towards this, growing, and like my parents built this country, my grandparents built it, man. Like they built stuff, they built farms, they built fences, they raised cattle, they grew crops. My mom's a nurse who saved people's lives. My dad was in electrical construction. He built power lines. He brought electricity to places so they could flourish. Like, I come from people that built things and did something. And it's like this new world is all about just how they can get free money from the government and live as a parasite. And how can you sleep at night having lived that kind of life? So I question myself, because I don't feel like I'm building much, but the knowledge that I'm putting out there and the reconnecting and the awakening is vitally important. So I've become, and you become, Kyle, and we're working towards this awakening that will allow us to take the right path, to stop going down this other way, and to really, really be free. Because once you awaken and once you have that freedom, once you earn it for yourself, nobody will ever be able to take that away, ever. And I'm not at that point yet. I still have to learn that lesson. So, but all of us, I'd like to think, even like with this podcast and the live shows, anything, the Discovering Bigfoot banner, it's all of us growing together in this beautiful community of. I mean, a lot of you should be disagreeing with some of the stuff I'm saying. Kyle, do you agree with everything I'm saying wholeheartedly?
For the most part, yeah. No, I really
Oh,
do.
so
Yeah, no, and I see eye to eye with you on a lot of these reasons because, like first off, you're the one who mentored me and is training me and guiding me into this Sasquatch, whole genre in my life. And, like I come from, the woods myself. I grew up in a really small town, like
mhm,
there were deer in my backyard.
mhm,
I lived 20 miles away from my school,
mhm,
I grew up out there, so having a phone on me all the time, I see that, it's like, oh, I don't have service out here. Well, why are you trying to worry about service right now when you have a beautiful view of the Catskill Mountains,
yeah,
and watch the animals flying around and doing their thing and just
yeah,
appreciate it. What are you doing on your phone?
yeah,
So I see that, and like I live in the city now and it's all just electricity and technology and this and that. And it's just
yeah.
it's so far away from what I'm used to that it's like unnerving. And so for me, like I see exactly what you mean, and I totally agree with you.
What about sleeping? Do you sleep better out in the bush?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, like I said, I grew up out in the woods, so everything was quiet at night. Like I didn't have to have sounds or sound makers in my bedroom and lights on and stuff like that. Like it was dark and quiet. I grew up next to a pond. I heard peepers and frogs. That's what I fell
Yeah.
asleep, to for the most
Oh,
part, or just dead
yeah.
quiet. So it's
Mhm.
like having, music reverberate through my bedroom and people yelling and laughing outside and stuff. It like wakes me right up because I'm just not used to that. If I hear someone's voice outside my house, it was okay, go get the gun, like
Yeah.
there's nobody supposed to be around my house right now. So I mean, I've been down here for about a year now and it's still just like, oh, okay, I live here. This is what I have to get used to.
For you city people that really don't understand, like when I'm out in the wilderness, even when I'm on expedition, I'm taking care of people. I'm making everybody safe, and it's I just sleep so much better in that serenity of nature. Like there's nothing like it. Like the trees are calm. Like you're all supported by this beautiful natural world that's so calm and so serenity, and it really works for me. And People that come out there and don't feel that, it's because you're having trouble letting go of your domesticated self. That's pretty freaking scary. So for the most part, 4 or 5 days in, people, even the toughest domesticated dude breaks down, has a really good night's sleep, finds some good serenity, connects to the nature, and then it's I can feel the trees around me. It's really the trees, I think, the earth, the trees, the plants. It's not the animals. It's that vegetation around me that really just, I'm connected to that stuff, guys. And they're seeing this stuff in science. Fantastic Fungi, the documentary, like never mind the stuff like all the trees, roots are all connected under the earth, they're all tied into one another. But there's so much going on out there in nature that this tree hugging 60s stuff, it actually,
It had some legitimacy behind it.
it's beautiful to love your trees like that, to see them as living organisms that that produce oxygen for us and that want our carbon dioxide, that we have a symbiotic relationship with. It's absolutely wonderful. It's such a magnificent thing. And I can't tell you how important it is for you to take your children out camping, reconnect it. Camping shouldn't be about anything less than going and exploring nature as well. I know people that go camping, they basically cook and clean and cook and clean and clean and then watch a movie. I guess you're getting the area and you
That's
get the
called
good tranquil
clamping.
sleep, but it's not really, you know what I mean? Like, go get dirty, go
Yeah.
let your children play with some tree sticks and go climb some, dance on some logs, and connect to nature, because man, it's important, guys. It's so freaking important. It cleans you, it opens you up, it lets you, lets you find your, like, your inner true natural self. Like, do we even care? Do people care about that? Who you really are naturally? Because you are a natural being. And don't you want to know what your true nature is? What is it? Because there are people, Kyle, that are like, they come out here and they're like deer and they have deer energy, bird energy. But then you got the guys who have bear and mountain lion energy and wolf energy, right? But it's all it's all beautiful. It's all it's harmony, and I love all the perspectives of it. But to figure out what your true nature is and go explore it, it's it's the most mind-blowing, life-altering experience, and it's not easy. Don't think you're going to go for a hike and figure it out. It takes time. I had probably one of my coolest experiences this year was Ross, the special effects makeup artist, who came out because he believes that nobody can make the special effects for the Sasquatch, real Sasquatch film. I always have to say that right after. But this Ross dude, man, he's never hiked on a freaking bush trail in his whole life. He just came out there and he was so connected and so beautiful. And it's really, it's changed him so profoundly, so deeply, and just opened up his eyes. Like, this guy is just full of nature and love and connection for it. His skills that were taking over, they're literally like instincts that were just there, and they were so amazing. His natural instincts to track and move and flow through nature and find things was astonishing to witness from somebody who's been domesticated his whole life. It actually made me proud to see, you know what? It doesn't matter how much you goddamn domesticate a lion, you throw that thing back in the jungle and look at it flourish. That's who Ross was. It instilled my faith in some people that are so goddamn domesticated. This man's been beaten down. He's been in foster homes. His dad left him. Like, his story just brings tears to your eyes. And that son of a bitch still came out on expedition with me and lit right up and attached to nature. Nature embraced him immediately, and he embraced it right back. And man, that was this is why I do expeditions, because I took a man like that out, changed his life, and but it teaches me stuff too. Do you understand the lessons I get from that? I really got to know, are most people beyond saving? And thanks to Ross, my answer is I don't think so.
I don't think so
I
either.
think I think we can get to them. I think we can open it up. I think we can show them. There are people that go through the mountains and go, what's the big goddamn deal? They're just rocks. They're tall. They're majestic and beautiful, Kyle. Like, don't they? They're old, ancient. Beautiful. Don't you don't have to tell you, right?
I have more pictures of those mountains than I probably do of my dog.
You know, but it resonates with you, the magnificence of them, the brilliance of them, how amazing each one of those mountains are, the trees, the air, the water that we can just drink off the glaciers, man. Like people don't do that. People don't go. You can go ice bath in this water, and then you drink it and you cook with it, and it's the cleanest, most delicious water, and it's blue. It looks like it's something out of a freaking movie. It's so gorgeous. You jump in it, you play in it, and literally, movies have to dye the water to make it look like that, and
Yeah.
and sometimes they do a pretty good job. But to be out there in it and to see that water like that and drink it and train in it and get food out of it, it's like it changes you, ladies and gentlemen. It'll just change your whole perspective. They're discovering things about water. It's not just that it's glacier. It's not just that it's untapped and no chemicals at all. Even they found now that the water, when it goes through rocks, it becomes structured and it's more healthy for you. Well, that's what rivers do, is they're full of rocks and they structure the water. And now it's healthier for you. So they're trying all these ways in civilization, not just to filter the water and clean it, but to structure it so it's more natural. And that's just we just get that. And we live that life. I live that life every second week from June till October when I do expeditions. And it's absolutely, they're never going to stop learning. Like in 1,000 years, they're going to be making new discoveries about all these things that nature did to people, that they're just going to scientifically prove it'll be happening for hundreds of years to come. It'll just keep growing and growing because we are, deny it or not, we are natural beings. We're built from nature, and the more we separate ourselves from the nature, the more damage we're going to do to each one of us as a species, as an individual, as a family. Separating yourself from nature is just going to harm you and damage you and mess you up. And going down that path, you break my heart. Anybody who's going down that path, and I would. That's what this discovery is about: is to reconnect with who you are on your natural side. And we're gonna this discovery process. Is it really discovering Bigfoot, or is it really? It's more like we're discovering our own true nature.
Isn't that ironic?
Like that. It doesn't even surprise me though that this rabbit hole was going to take me down to this beautiful place where the discovery of Bigfoot was really the discovery of humanity, right? What does it mean to be human? Hue is a manifestation,
Of
or
light.
man is manifestation, and hue is light. A light manifestation is what it is to be human. And the discovery of Bigfoot literally allows us to discover our own humanity, our own natural nature self. And if you don't do that, you can't discover Bigfoot. That's the irony. Until I discover my own true nature and my own empathic abilities, until I awaken, I can't discover Bigfoot. Not truly. So here I am, focused on the discovery of Bigfoot. I won't win though until I truly discover who I am and what my own nature is. Then I can communicate with the Sasquatch. And that's the beautiful irony of this, is until you make it, you can't make the discovery. And there's no cheating it. Believe me, I've tried. I've tried so hard to cheat it. I did everything I could to make this discovery happen. And it won't come until I'm clean, until I discover my own self, until I build my own integrity, until I'm an amazing manifestation of light, so brilliant and so undeniable. I'll be able to communicate with the Sasquatch and make this discovery. And that's all I do. That's all I do in this discovery process with people, is open them up to connecting to nature, to finding their own way. And that's what this discovery is. And it's amazing. And I just couldn't be more lit up about how wonderful this discovery is and how it's part of an awakening. The more people that discover Bigfoot, the more people that will awaken and save this planet. It's literally that amazing. I've actually found people that have virtually nothing to do with nature or Bigfoot, that are empaths or telepathic. And as soon as I talk to them, they go, "Oh, was that Bigfoot I was talking to?" Oh yeah, it was. Oh man, they talked to me all the time. I just didn't know who they were. I was confused about it. So that's a Bigfoot. I go, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. And now they'll go reconnect with nature, but they're connecting with Sasquatch through their telepathic abilities. And it's amazing that this awakening goes hand in hand with this discovery. So I had no idea that this would turn out to be such a brilliant way to literally save the planet, save our species. Period. It saves us, the discovery of Bigfoot. That's how deep and amazing, tremendously important this discovery is. That's why I'm going to do the big Joe Rogan, Howard Stern, go back and do the media all over again, because I want people to know about this awakening. That's why I'm doing this podcast with you, Kyle. That's why I talk to people. That's why I work on all this stuff and I'm so passionate about it, is because this discovery fixes all those things that pain me, that I have nightmares about. So how can anybody of good conscience be sitting by right now and go, everything's good, everything's okay? No, it's not. But this fixes it. Help us discover Bigfoot, and everything will be okay. We will get our justice. We will get our integrity. We'll get our honor, our truth, our wonderful magical world that we all dreamed of growing up. I know I did as a young boy, because justice isn't out there so much anymore, guys, and integrity, and we've our foundations have all rotted apart, and this civilization is corrupt, and it's decrepit, and it's a mess. And the discovery of Bigfoot fixes that. And I'm not suggesting that's the case. I'm telling you that's the case. You simply awaken, you simply become telepathic, you can communicate and read people. Nobody can lie to you anymore. This is literally coming to a point where we all live in a world where there's no more lying, no more cheating, no more deceiving. That's how amazing this is. So for all of you who are liars, who are narcissists, who are sociopaths, you have my sympathy, because your way is going to be the way of the past. Us that are awakened will see right through your crap. You're not going to fool any awakened being anymore. The lies, the cheat, the neglect, the dishonesty, the sloth, right? The dishonor, like people that just want the parasitic behaviors that have become first nature, all gone. You'll have no future in this beautiful planet once we awaken, once the discovery of Bigfoot happens.
And with that being said, for everybody listening, what are you still doing? Why haven't you logged off yet? Go out there, get out in the woods, take your shoes off, go drink the water from the streams. Go be one. Take a weekend off of work. Why are you working all the time? Go take a weekend off work, go camping. Go spend 2 days. Just go enjoy it. Go find yourself. This working 9 to 5 crap every day, every month, every year is killing all of us. Put this thing down, shut it off. Just for a day. You'll survive.
Go do some inner work.
Exactly.
Go do some inner work. Figure out who you are. Learn about this manifestation of life that is you, because you are amazing. You are a superhero. It's
Absolutely
incredible what you're capable of. You're beautiful and brilliant and amazing. And if you're overweight, if you're sick, you're literally a product of this disgusting civilization, domestication we live in. And you should be goddamn pissed off about it. I'm pissed off. Let's get out of that crap. Hell, the majority of people that are drug addicts now are prescription drug addicts. You're making the pharmaceutical companies trillions of dollars every year. Congratulations. And they got you addicted, and it's perfectly legal because the doctors are prescribing your addictive medication. That's not cool. The pop, the Doritos, the crap food that you poison your body with, that shit should be illegal. To put that crap in your body should be a crime against humanity. Like, fight it, man. Understand that Doritos and Coke and Pepsi don't give a shit about you. They don't make anything healthy for you. They literally know they're killing you and destroying your body, and they're making a mint off of it. I don't know how you goddamn people sleep at night that produce that kind of crap. It's absolutely disgusting. It sickens me that any of that stuff is even legal. Half the stuff they sell in the United States is illegal in Europe. You
Right.
should do some research. They literally won't allow the citizens of France, England, Germany to eat the food that you guys are forced to eat every goddamn day. That is a crime against humanity that your government allows for that. And why do they do it? Money. Money,
Mm.
money, 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 money. Whoever has the money pulls the strings and you suffer for it.
And
Are you pissed off yet? Because
there's
I am.
there's no way to change any of that unless we go and we get back down to our roots and we get out of this. We stop enabling it. We got to stop doing it. We got to stop buying into it. It's the only way to get out of it.
Awaken.
Is all of us
Awaken.
collectively have to make that decision to not buy that product. To go spend a couple extra dollars and get a better bottle of water. Or go find a stream outside by you that's clean. Drink that water instead. There's so many different ways to just get away from it and to make yourselves healthier. And in doing that, you're gonna live longer, you're gonna live better, you're gonna breathe better, you're gonna be more active, you're gonna feel better while being that active,
Yeah.
and you're gonna find yourself, which all of that. And if you're watching this podcast, you're on here for a reason, right? You want to have that Sasquatch experience probably, or you had one that maybe you don't want to tell people. If you want to have a Sasquatch experience, you got to go out there. You got to go take that weekend camping trip. You got to go find yourself. You got to take your shoes off. You got to go ground. You got to go smell the roses. It's the only way they're going to come out to you. Sitting on the computer and looking up pictures of them, it's not going to get you that far. You want to do what Todd and I do? Get out there. Put your phone down. And with that, unfortunately, we're out of time, but we got a lot more to talk about. So on the next episode, we'll get into it. So
Awesome.
Thanks again for coming on.
Love being here.
All right. We'll talk to you later.
Take care, y'all. Bye for now.